Hey again, everybody. It's Justin Kennington with SDVoE Alliance, and I'm joined now by Stephane Tremblay, CTO of Aptovision products for Semtech, but also the CTO and founder of Aptovision, the father of SDVoE and Blue River Technology. Stephane, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Justin. Always a pleasure to talk to you live.
That's true. It's been a while since you've been on my TV show, so it's nice to have it in person.
Yeah, what's the reason? Oh, yeah, pandemic. This COVID thing, yes.
Well, so speaking of pandemic, since the beginning, I think, of Aptovision, of Blue River, it was the dream to get that technology transitioned from an FPGA into an ASIC. And the reason I say pandemic is because that vision was finally realized about 18, 24 months ago.
That's right.
And so actually, even though that this ASIC chip has been shipping now for almost 2 years, this event, this trade show, is really our sort of, in a way, our public debut of it, which has given us a nice situation in a way that now there's been time for the customers, for the members of SDVoE to develop products. So it's not just, here's a chip under some glass, look at all these things that we have. So why don't you start with tell us a little bit about what an ASIC is, what that means, and why it's important.
Yeah, actually, you touch on a good point. Is about, okay, look at all the different products, and the ASIC fuel all kinds of new products, and what is the reason for that? So to me, the big benefit of an ASIC is 3 points. Cost, much lower cost, much lower power, and much lower heat dissipation. So if you can reduce all this, you can also enable much smaller form factor. You don't need a fan. You can go into high MTBF environment. So, and this is what we see at this show. Right before the last show, before the pandemic, there was what 300-400 different products on SDVoE, and now it's kind of double that number. And one of the product that's common to double is like that wall plate here, where previously it would have been impossible with an FPGA solution
because of the heat dissipation.
Because of the heat, right?
Okay.
Fitting all the required electronic inside such a tiny space without a fan, because no one installs a fan on it. Well, some do, but
especially in a one gang.
Especially in a one gang. So like this form factor is truly something enabled by an ASIC.
Yep.
An FPGA with all this capability would never be capable of fitting it. So, but there are other form factors, right? Like for example, this is a development of Semtech and TI, where it's in the new TI DLP 4K chip. They support SDVoE natively, right? With this module, their TI controller takes care of programming the SDVoE chip and managing to display the pixels.
So now SDVoE then becomes a part of the TI DLP reference design, which now makes it extremely easy for a projector manufacturer to integrate SDVoE directly.
So easy, right? It's a reference design, and from that point, well, the firmware is provided by TI themselves, so you go on the menu and you see, as you would see an HDMI input being active or not, well, you see the SDVoE input being active or not, right? Quite neat. So again, this type of integration is kind of impossible at the FPGA level, because the solution needs to be neat, low power, and cost efficient.
You told me that this ASICs generally are lower power, lower cost, and lower heat. So that sounds wonderful. Why would I not do that? Why doesn't everyone just have an ASIC?
It's a good question. For the ones that don't know, the answer is extremely expensive. Number one, right? Because in order for...
You mean to design?
To design.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Because designing in a way that your design is cost effective and does not consume lots of power, when you do 4K at speed, and these chips can scale 4K at speed, so there's lots of processing taking place, lots of gates toggling at the same time. So you need to pay for an expensive tape out, right? Something low power, some things where just the cost mask on itself will be the 7-figure. So this is the reason why.
Let's emphasize that slowly. Right, the masks are the kind of like the photo negatives that allow you to actually make the chip, and creating those masks just to produce them costs millions of dollars.
Exactly.
That's not counting the time it took to design all the circuitry, to validate it, and then to actually produce chips. We're talking about just building that photograph negative, millions of dollars.
Yep.
In cash.
Write
a check.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you have a bug in your chip and it's not usable,
write another check.
Write another check for your second rev. Yeah.
So the point is, from a business perspective, it's very difficult for let's say a single AV manufacturer, electronics manufacturer, to even conceive of building something that the return would never be there.
Return would be nearly impossible to get. I mean, you would need to have huge volume at high market, right? The niche market and huge volume does not go together.
And that's where Semtech, as founding member of the SDVoE Alliance, Semtech is a chip company. This is what they do, is invest millions of dollars at a time to develop chips and produce them. Semtech has a business model. SDVoE Alliance brings all these members together so that the total volume starts to make a business case.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it, Justin. So, and it's going well. I mean, the adoption is quite great. Walking at the show, I see lots of booths with SDVoE product, and we're growing. I mean, it's only the beginning. It won't stop there. This ASIC is not even 2 years old.
Right. So where does the future take us?
My dream would be to have a wide adoption of SDVoE, nearly SDVoE everywhere, so that people like system integrator do not ask themselves the question about what is the hardware they should put their solution on. They should ask themselves the question, okay, what is the software I'm going to provide to have a better usage, better customer experience, easy products to use, to diagnose. They should offer cloud services and this is all enabled by having that ecosystem of product. Like today, you buy an Intel PC, it's going to connect on your HP printer because it's all interoperable, and you don't ask yourself the question, but in Pro AV, we're not there yet, right? With if you buy an encoder from a company and a decoder from another company, if it's not SDVoE, it's not going to work together. So system integrators need to ask themselves that question, and okay, what's the hardware am I using? This is my dream, is that it goes away. SDVoE is highly programmable at the software layer.
Yeah.
That would be nice to see.
Yeah, I think to extend that, it's even, when I'm thinking about my PC, I'm not thinking about my Intel CPU. I'm thinking about, what experience does the web browser give me, or what am I yelling at Outlook about today, or what am I writing in Microsoft Word, or what game am I playing, right? I'm thinking about the software, and the hardware underneath is there to support it. I always say, the electrons have to wiggle somewhere.
They have to.
But that's not what's important here. What's important is the experience I'm having as a result of this software.
Yeah.
I agree. That's where we have to drive AV. We've got to really just take the whole conversation and experience up a level and start focus on experience with the right hardware underneath to support it.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, is there anything we should cover that we haven't yet?
What's the best restaurant you have in Barcelona?
Tapeo is my number one choice so far. My hotel recommended it. I went there on Sunday night, I think, and truly very good.
Noted. The problem by saying that out and loud would be that next year everyone's going to book Tapeo and you won't be able to.
That's okay, I already know where I'm booking for next year.
Okay, all right.
Thanks for joining, Stephane.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you all for watching.